Hey everyone, Eric Lima here, New Bedford's resident CHP, bringing to you another episode from the pilot mini series here on YouTube that is bridging the gap between the recently complete EML-77 TV and the new season coming in next year of WEML-TV Channel 77, the YouTube station identification of yours truly. This is the Bridge Up, episode 31. Like I promised, I will get into it. The WFW Thoughts. That means Wrestling Fantasy Warfare. I'm going to give you a few matches and a few matches off the cuff, off the top of my head, and one in particular. And I mentioned this on a couple of episodes ago. Let's do it again. What would happen if Karrion Kross and the Fiend went at it? The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. You know, both men could play some serious mind games. Now that the Undertaker's retired, the Undertaker, the originator of the mind games, original master of the mind games. Goldust is the second master. What you're talking about? You go way back. Jake the Snake Roberts originated the mind games, and then you got Undertaker, and Goldust followed, and you also got Mankind too. All four of those men have gone somewhere. Roberts and Goldust went to AEW, while Mick Foley retired, and so has the Undertaker. So we need new masters of mind games, and it seems like Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, seems to be it. Well, you got Randy Orton as well. And those two are going to be battling at mind games, but you add a third player to the mix. Let's just say that Bray Wyatt gets by Randy Orton somehow. Imagine if Karrion Kross decided, hey, I want to step up to the plate. I want to step up against the big guys. And then he eyes the Fiend. Imagine that. But then, here's the thing. You get their ladies involved. You got Karrion Kross. You get the lovely Scarlett Bordeaux, who was called a smoke show by Damian Priest. And I'll tell you what, Damian Priest remembers Miss Scarlett Bordeaux. And then on the Fiend side, you got the lovely Alexa Bliss, who is... Imagine what those two ladies can do to each other. Now, all you male wrestling fans thinking, oh, it's a wet dream cat fight waiting to happen. Well, it doesn't have to be necessarily a physical cat fight. What about a mental cat fight? Because those ladies can play some mind games too. You know, Scarlett Bordeaux doesn't have to say much. But when she gives you a look, you know you're in trouble. Alexa Bliss has got those creepy eyes and is capable of anything. And remember, she is a former Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion, as well as a former Women's Tag Team Champion. So she's a WWE Women's Triple Crown winner. That's the advantage. I think that's Bray Wyatt is also a former champion in his own right, former WWE and Universal and Tag Team Champion. You know, Karrion Kross is a former NXT champion. So the advantage goes, in my opinion, to the Fiend and Alexa Bliss. Well, let's just say that the match ends up in a stalemate. What would happen then? You know, will they take it up take it up a level? You never know. You know, Karrion Kross versus the Fiend, or make this thing a mixed tag: Karrion Kross and Scarlett versus the Fiend and Alexa Bliss. I like that. Okay, I have an idea. All right, I have another one. Let's go to AEW versus Impact on this one. Since AEW and Impact are probably working something out, and let's just say Abaddon, the zombie girl from Impact, not Impact, AEW, goes against Su Yung or Rosemary from Impact. Imagine the mind games going on there. I see Abaddon versus Su Yung even, and I'll tell you what, Abaddon versus Su Yung. I would not be the referee in that matchup. I would say, ladies, you look weird. Go at it. Go at it. I'll just count to 3. That's it. Just sit there, let those ladies play their mind games. You know, let the craziness happen. I would say, Father James Mitchell, here, you ref the matchup, okay? You probably know more about demons than I do. I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? You know about these ladies and the dark minds they do. You have a dark mind yourself. I'm out of here. See ya. If I was the referee of that matchup, I wouldn't want to be the referee of that match. Who wants to be the referee of that matchup? Somebody would probably get soft. You know, don't ask the Undertaker to be the referee. No, he'd be like, boy, he's like, you know, they say don't get yourself in the middle of a cat fight, or else you get yourself busted up. I wouldn't get myself in this fight, at all. You know, it's like a horror show cat fight waiting to happen. You know, between Abaddon and Su Yung, the bloody undead bride. Right. Be very interested to see if that match went down. What kind of match would it be? Would it be a casket match? Would it be a graveyard match? No, a boneyard match. Yeah, there you go. Why not? It worked for AJ Styles and The Undertaker. Why not a boneyard match? How about yeah? So all right. How about this one? AEW versus WWE on this one. Check this out. Maxwell Jacob Freeman versus The Miz. Two of the biggest mouths in wrestling today. But both arrogant. They both think they're better than all of us. And the fans hate these two guys. Think about it. MJF versus The Miz. It's like, if let's just say there's somebody that doesn't like either of them. I'd be like, I'll watch these two beat the stuffing out of each other and just pick the bones and clean off after them. But still, let these two guys go at it. Big mouths and everything else. How would I think MJF would start by saying, "Hey, I think your wife's hot. I'll take her." That would set Miz off. That would set Miz off. And I think Miz being more respected of the two, I think Miz would have the advantage in experience over this. Miz is a Grand Slam champion. He's a former WWE champion, Intercontinental, United States Tag Team champion. The Miz has done it all, and I'm telling you, and he's a current Money in the Bank holder. He's got the advantage over MJF. Let me tell you something, and that'll be something. That will be an excellent matchup. Let's see. If the British Bulldog was still alive today, how about this? British Bulldog, if he was still alive today, versus Miro, a.k.a. Rusev. That'll be a heck of a matchup. But there's one match that, too bad that, wasn't able to see in the 90s when both men were in the WWE. Bulldog was fired in, late 92? After he lost the Intercontinental title to Shawn Michaels because of steroids and everything else. And Ludwig Borga debuted in 93. British Bulldog versus Ludwig Borga. That was one matchup I would have loved to see. It would battle two powerhouses and who would win who. If the Bulldog was still around in the WWE, aka World Wrestling Federation, or WWF, what would Bulldog be part of the Hart family? If him and Anvil was still around in 93, that would have been the family feud right there. But Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Anvil, and Bulldog, all in that matchup. Because if it had not been for Bulldog and Anvil's drug problems, I think they would have stuck around, and they would have they would have been part of Bret Hart's team at Survivor Series in '93, but that happened down the road, '97. But like I said, British Bulldog versus Ludwig Borga would have been a heck of a matchup, Or you can have Owen Hart team up with the Anvil as new foundation, or Owen Hart and Bulldog versus the Quebecers for the tag team titles. Imagine that, Who knows what would have happened, and none of the matches that did not happen in '93 that I wished it would happen, but didn't. The Undertaker versus Ludwig Borga. That would have been a heck of a matchup. The Undertaker versus Ludwig Borga. That'll be that match would have gone either way. You can see Ludwig Borga probably insult the heck out of the Undertaker, and Undertaker probably would not and Undertaker would not take it too kindly. It's something else, man. You know what I mean? It's just that would have been a heck of a matchup. Taker, Borga, I'm trying to think of another matchup that I can come up with here. Let's go back to current times. I said the Young Bucks. And then when the Young Bucks were part of Impact Wrestling as Generation Me, I don't think the Young Bucks locked up. I don't know if they have in Japan with Gallows and Anderson. And I'm trying to think about that because that would have been a heck of a matchup. Battle of Bullet Club, because they were all four of those guys were members of the Bullet Club that was started by Finn Balor when he was known as Prince Devitt in New Japan. So let's see. The AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida and Asuka, they were once partners. Imagine those two hook up in a matchup. I would love to see that. Or Hikaru Shida versus Io Shirai, the NXT Women's Champion. I would love to see that matchup, and it would be totally crazy. I'm always trying to think what other matches I can have. If the Undertaker not retired, would him and Karrion Kross would be a heck of a matchup. That'll be it. I know Taker and Wyatt faced each other, but this is way before the Wyatt morphed into the Fiend. So, what would happen if the Fiend and the Undertaker actually collide, or the Fiend versus Mankind? Let's talk about that one. That would be a heck of a matchup that I would love to see. The Fiend versus Mankind. I would have loved to see that. I'm trying to think what else. What other matches I can make up here? You know, hmm. You know, all right. Let's say Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler retain the tag team titles at TLC. Who would they face next? The Riot Squad. I think the Riot Squad would be it. But I'm trying to think of. Let's see, any two-woman combination. Okay, hypothetically speaking, let's just say that Melina actually came back to the WWE without anybody knowing. And let's say she decided to team up with Mickey James. You talk about two OVW original ladies to go up against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for the tag team titles. But they have to watch Nia Jax's size and Shayna Baszler's penchant for ripping apart body parts and breaking body parts. All I can say about that is I'm sure Melina and Mickey James would have the wherewithal, veteran status to think and say, okay, we can deal with this. So I would not be surprised at all. I'm trying to think what else. Remember, it's just fantasy warfare, wrestling fantasy warfare here. My thoughts and what kind of matches I would like to see set up. Because Vaughn Baskin gave me some really come up with these crazy comments, but gave me a great idea to do this segment that will be part of the show. I'm trying to think. What if the British Bulldog was still around and he decided to work with NXT UK? British Bulldog versus Walter for the NXT UK Championship? That would be a heck of a matchup. Or British Bulldog versus the Iron King Joe Coffey. Very interesting to see what happens. That'll be something. That'll be something to behold. Okay, that's all the time we have on the show. I got to get to Zoom my church and my pastor to see what's going on there, see how everybody's doing there. So we'll see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful night. God bless you. For the Bridge Up, episode 31, WFW Thoughts, wrestling fantasy warfare thoughts. Some matches I come up with. Let's see what you guys think. All right. See ya. Good night and peace.